I'd like you to go ahead and introduce yourself to my audience so they can see who you are, know what you're about. And I don't want to butcher your name because I'm pretty good at that. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm a Danish magician from Denmark. My name is Mads Lundbek. That's how it's pronounced. Otherwise, it would be pronounced in English, Mads Lundbek. But it is pronounced Mads Lundbek. Um, and yeah, I've been doing magic since I was like 6 or 7, and I've just started up YouTube myself, stockpiling some content to get ready to throw something out. I throw out shorts every day with some the small quick effects. Same thing goes for Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yeah, I've seen you've been a little more active on some of the other platforms, right? Like you're just kind of newer to YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't post regularly on Instagram because that requires me to make new things. What I'm posting on TikTok is TikTok and YouTube are some of my older things from Instagram that I'm reposting to get started.
All right. I know in the beginning it's kind of difficult to get going here on YouTube. At least it was for me. Maybe not, everybody has the same case, but it's a little slow at first. So everybody watching, go subscribe to his channel because his magic is amazing and you're gonna love the type of stuff that he has.
Thank you.
Also, I want to kind of give you a little bit of like an interview. I want to ask you, just so the audience gets to know a little bit more about you, and so I can get a little more to know a little bit more about you myself. What got you started into magic?
Well, I guess the same thing as a lot of other magicians. I was actually at, I don't know if it was a birthday party or whatever it was, but when I was 6, I was visiting my grandparents with my family. And me being curious, roaming around their old stuff and toys, I find a magic kit from like 1977 or something. It was
Oh
an
shit.
older kit. It was called like Hocus Pocus or Abracadabra. And I found this all this stuff in there. Something was missing, some things were there, and I got to work. And then shortly after, I discovered YouTube and started learning from there.
Okay.
That's sort of how it all started. I have the magic kit over here if you want to see what it looks like, because it's
You
really
still have
like
the original one, the
I
one
have the
that started it
original
all.
one.
Oh, I got to see that. Yeah, I
Oh
love
yeah.
I love antiques. So
Let me see if I can fish it out of this shelf.
you're over here making all this modern, beautiful art magic, and who knew you're gonna be pulling out this old magic kit, right? Oh, sweet, bro. Wow. That box
This
is
is
actually in
Hocus
pretty good
Pocus.
condition. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know if I just tipped over everything inside.
Yeah. They definitely don't
You
make
get
them
a
like they
good.
used to. Oh, nice. Oh, you can really see the aging on those playing cards. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, double backer. Ooh. Like there's
Nice,
like some
man.
of these things are actually pretty interesting. Like these, there's supposed to be a yellow one on this one, but the idea for this trick is that you'd give all these to the spectator. Like they were, you're initially supposed to have a red, green, and a blue one, I think, or green. So you hand all those three colors to the spectator. You blindfold yourself, turn your back, and you say, select one and put in your pocket. You say, give me one back. And with your eyes closed, you can say, this one's yellow, this one's the blue one, and you are holding the green one.
Interesting.
And the way it works is because, like, I don't know if you can tell that this is not sharp, so you can
All right.
feel it when you get it back. You'll be like, yeah, that's not it. And some of the other balls, they have some texture on it, so you can feel what you're getting back in your
Uh,
hands, which is
Interesting.
fun. Very.
There's actually a lot of great secrets and methods that's all upon feel,
Yeah.
uh, even with playing cards without going into too much detail. There's some great things out there where it's all just textile, just the feeling of things, and yeah, it's just kind of like an old gambling cheat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like some people also use like a little bit of sandpaper to scuff the card so you can see which
Right,
card you're like marking a card essentially.
right.
Look at this thing. This crazy stuff. Oh,
Oh, where'd it go? that's, that's cool, bro.
oh
Damn.
man, this
I'm
brings back
definitely going to be looking
memories.
up that magic kit because I can see the inspiration and the joy you get out of it. So I want
Oh
to be
yeah.
looking that one up. I'm going to be freeze framing this video at some point, checking it out, see if I can spot it on eBay somewhere.
Maybe I don't. I think it might be a Danish one. I'm not sure.
The good thing about eBay, you can get stuff from all over the world.
That's true.
I found some
That is
gems on
very
there,
true.
that's for sure. Yeah. So
Speaking of
tell
gems,
me, yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking for a book. I don't know where to get it. It's sold out everywhere. It's a book by Tim and Krause, if you know him.
Tim Kraus. Doesn't ring a bell. Remind me.
He has a book that's called Witch Hand Method and Psychology, which is like an actual witch hand method, but you it's like a lot about body language.
Okay. So
And
psychological subtleties then.
exactly like which ways the nose pointing to, like tiny
Classic,
details.
classic, yeah.
Exactly. And I saw one yesterday on Scam School, which is honestly a really crazy thing. I was in the gym and I had it like playing on the side, which is a witch hand effect that is like 100% success rate, and it can be done with an invisible coin for that matter. And you bring out your hands, or the spectator brings out their hands, you give them something, they hide it in the hand. You turn your back and you say, raise the hand with the object in over your head and say, I demand you to read my mind. And they
Oh,
do so,
that's
and
very
they
old.
say, I demand you to
Yes.
read my mind. And then there, all of a sudden, the hands look
It's
different with the
the
blood vessels.
right. That
I've
that is
never seen
a
that
very
before.
you've never seen that? Yes, that is a
Never.
very, very old method. Like extremely old. Like I'm talking about probably this might be late 1700s, early
Oof.
1800s method. It could go back further than that, but as far as I'm aware, I do love some of the old books, man. Got a couple of old ones here, but I
Ooh,
can definitely try to see if I can find that book for you. I know a couple curators of old books. One good place to look that I'm going to go ahead and give them a shout out is Don's Magic and Books. Every once in a while, you'll
yeah.
find some really old gems, but this is probably one of the older books that I have.
As reversed, I can't read what it says.
Oh, yeah.
Secrets of.
Secrets of Conjuring and Magic by Ra- Jean Ugair Robert Houdin, which is the magician that inspired Houdini. He was a big fan of this guy. That's where he got his name from. So
Mm,
Houdini means like Houdin. So he was kind of like the first Stan, if you would. He was
yeah.
super fan of this guy. Till later on, he ended up writing like a lot about his life eventually, and you know what they say, don't meet your heroes and stuff like that. But I guess he found out so much because this guy was very good uh, with sort of like his public persona and stuff like that, kind of like creating a legend,
Yeah.
which is great if you're a magician. So I don't know how much of this stuff he believed, and it was kind of a little bit disappointed or whatever the case might be. But one more thing I wanted to bring up: Scam School. I fucking love Brian Brushwood, Scam School.
Yeah.
I've been a fan. I've been watching it. I remember when he used to come on Spike TV like years and years and years ago. Big fan of Scam School. As a matter of fact, I got two of his books right here. Yeah,
Oh,
big Scam School guy. I love that shit, bro. Um, there's always so many gems, so many gems.
they
Um,
really hide a lot of gems in those videos.
Now,
I
yeah,
saw
when
them
you're
when I was a
talking
kid.
about holding your hand up, that is a great method. There's actually another more subtle method. Of course, you mentioned the nose pointing in a certain direction, but
There's
I'm
also
gonna
about the
give
pinky.
there's that. There's another one though. If somebody has something in their hand, let's say I'll just use one of these rings here. Somebody has something in their hand and they close it in their back, they bring it forward, they hold them forward. If you're unsure, like let's say the nose method isn't exactly working, it kind of looks like it's working here in the camera, but you tell them cross your hands, and the one
It's gonna
that's
be below
under
often.
is almost every single time the one that they are concealing. There's like a natural instinct
Yeah,
of humans to keep it closer to them so you can't grab it and get it.
it's weird. I've tried that one a lot of times when I was unsure with the nose thing or the pinky thing, and like I get it wrong every time.
It's a hit or
I'm
miss
not
thing,
sure why.
and
It is.
it's not very repeatable from
No,
what I've noticed. So
no, and
usually,
they're gonna think about it afterwards.
right, and sometimes there's a hesitation. So it's kind of like uh, it's kind of like that person has to be somewhat suggestible also, and not trying to mess you up, so to speak.
Yeah,
It's like you can't really hypnotize somebody that doesn't want to be hypnotized,
yeah.
so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's
So
also a lot of people that want to try and trip you over, but like holding one hand a little differently, those
right,
are not the people you'd want to do something like that to, because they were gonna
exactly.
try to make you fail.
Right. And there's a lot
Which
of
I,
people out there like that, but you want to perform for the people that want to see your magic because you're going to get the best reactions from them. You know, they want to be involved. Uh, those other people just use the mark deck
yeah.
because that always
Speaking
fucks
of
them up
witch
every time.
hands,
Yes.
there's a witch hand routine. I don't know who made it, but like it's one of my favorite ones. I can tell you how the process would go, and it would go like this. I would tell you to take this invisible coin and hide it in one of your hands. You bring out your hands, and I say, "Would it be incredible if I could guess where that invisible coin is?" And then I guess left, and it's correct. It's like, what? How did I know that? It's only 50-50 chance, so let's do it again. Bring it back. They bring out their hands. I guess left is correct. I do it a third time. I guess left, and it's incorrect. I'm like, oh man, I got it. Yeah, you made me miss. What are you doing? Then you, from the beginning, you've written something down. You've given to them. You say, open up that piece of paper I gave you, or I write it down on their phone, and then it says you chose your left hand, and then you made me miss by putting it in your right hand.
Oh, isn't that Wes Barker?
I
Didn't he
don't know.
perform? I believe that's Wes Barker's flip, which he performed on Fool Us, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's
There's a
like a
whole
coin flip, right?
routine. Yeah, yeah, there's a whole routine about that. Look that up. I think it's Wes Barker's Flip, which is like widely available. It's
Oh,
very
I've seen that
popular.
one.
Yeah. If that's not the one that you're talking about specifically, that's the only one that I know that has like a prediction behind it
Yeah,
that I'm
this is a
aware of.
witch hand. This is just a plain witch hand. You guess it, and then whenever you guess incorrect, you have a prediction that says exactly where you guessed incorrect.
Interesting. Huh.
And it's so good. It's
That's
like an
that's
anytime,
um
anywhere thing.
that's really interesting because if you were to sort of force when they're guessing correctly, which is easy to do, you can kind of force when they're going to guess correctly and then try your best to switch them up a little bit, make them guess incorrectly when you do your swap, right?
I mean, there's no force to it. It's a
Really
complete free choice the whole way through.
interesting.
I mean, I could explain it to you later, but I'm not gonna do it on
Well,
like
yeah,
a live stream because it's a marketed
right,
effect. So
right. Let's. So you said it's marketed, but who is it from?
I have no idea. It was shown to me by another magician, who said, "Do you know this one?" He said it was an old trick called the invisible coin.
Okay, I'll have to do a little bit of
Uh,
research on that. Maybe
yeah,
if
is
any of the viewers here know what we're talking about, they can leave it in the comments. And I just want to say hello to everybody real quick. Um, glad for you all to join us here. We're gonna have a really good podcast or live today.
it's a good time.
So we were talking about recently marked cards, um,
Yeah,
and I was telling you that I've been like having this urge to try to do like a master class on marked cards because I use them so much and I feel like they're underappreciated and their value in magic. Um, I also because I was like, how can I send this guy some marked decks? Like, and I looked up and
Yeah.
I just saw that you guys have really expensive taxes, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's going to be no way
Yeah.
around that. So
Yeah.
that
Like
kind of sucks, but I get it.
also just import taxes are crazy.
Yeah,
I recently bought Sonor from Illusionist, which ended up being like double the price because of the import taxes. Sometimes I get lucky and I get my packages without having to pay any import taxes, which is nice. And other
yeah.
times you get unlucky. But I was fine with it. Love Sonor. Also because like it can be done on the fly without the gimmick itself. And I do that all the time, especially with witch hand routines with invisible coin, where I have the prediction written down on my phone. I give my phone to them, and I do that witch hand routine where I get it wrong, and then as I open up my phone, and they can see that I wrote it down. Then I take my phone back, and I put my phone away, and I go into the explanation of the funny thing about this trick. It's not guessing it right or wrong or whatever the case may be. The funny thing is you were treating this as if it was real. Like you were holding it in your hand, you were putting it behind your back. It's an invisible coin. It doesn't exist. Why are you acting like it's here? Like why? When I say, but it is
No,
here.
mm,
It
that's
is here. Look,
interesting.
I have an invisible glass too, and I go good glass there, and then I would do the glass tink, and it go bing. And it's just like the coin, you can drop it in the glass, and then I have this sound of it dropping in the glass, and I give it back to them, so you can feel the weight of the glass too, right? And they're like, yeah, what? It's just
I
like
I think I
it's very fun.
understand that effect. I think I understand the effect that you're explaining now. It is to say that this is like an effect from the '70s, so there's no technology involved or anything like that, right? It's just kind of a
No, no,
clever
no, no.
principle behind it, right?
It's like no matter what, your
Or it should
prediction
be, right?
fits
Okay. Now,
because
have you
you can write
checked
it down on
the?
a piece of paper.
I'm going to drop another gem here. Have you checked the Conjuring archive
Yeah.
and with no luck? No, no.
Oh, I haven't checked it for that specific method, but I know of the
That's a
Conjuring.
great source if
Yeah.
you're ever looking for a trick or you're looking for a method and where to find it. That is a perfect resource to help you achieve that. There's so much information on there. It's not going to give you how to perform the tricks or anything like that, but it can tell you where you can find them most of the time.
Yeah.
I've done a
I
lot
have
of
to
research
look
on them.
through it sometimes to see if I can find any methods similar to my own methods.
It's another thing it's great for. Yeah,
It is. It's like the thing with YouTube is that like I don't want to like repost someone else's work by accident
right.
because I've come up with a lot of things that have been made a long time ago. I just don't know because my knowledge
And
of who made what isn't the biggest. So like I end
that
up posting
that's
something and then it's already been done and then it feels like I ripped someone off, which I didn't intend to.
right. That is a big issue. However, I feel as long as you can change the method, that where it's a different method from the original method, it shouldn't be too bad. But if I ever had anybody request me to remove a tutorial or something like that, I would respectfully do so. Um, I do respect the magic community, and I don't want to cross any lines there because I wouldn't want that done to
Yeah,
me. So I do try to do my best. Of course, nobody's perfect. You're not gonna be able to check every single method created before. I usually start
exactly. That
with
was
trying to make sure it's nothing that's marketed. And then from there, it might be published in a book somewhere 20, 30 years ago, but hopefully uh if I can change it up a little bit, it won't be so bad.
yeah. I have like the same mindset when it comes to it. I do a little research myself, and in the videos where I would do a tutorial of an effect of mine, I would say I I do my best to look through and see if I can find this elsewhere. All I know is I haven't seen it myself, but
Right.
don't want to be able to rip anyone off. So if this is
Exactly.
not original, if this has been done the exact same way before, let me know because like
Right.
I don't want to steal tricks.
Right. Now, I've had people let me know in the comments other versions and different ways to do things, which the comment section is great for that. You're like, you know what? I never thought about that. That actually be pretty cool. Especially on a lot of tricks recently. I've been having people, even yourself, for example, come up with different ways to. Here we go. That's a perfect little segue. Okay, so anybody that has seen any of my recent effects or tutorials that I've released here on YouTube, um, also I'm gonna just real quick note. Mads would be a cool fucking name. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Mads.
Just saying, Mads. It just sounds fucking cool to me. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of Daniel Madison slipping in there, the Mad Magician, but it does sound kind of fucking cool. But I'm gonna have to get used to pronouncing your name the correct way. But you have come
I
up
mean,
with an alternative version of mental die,
yeah,
or the professor's mental die, right?
yeah. I mean, it's the same principle, just with different subtleties to it that I felt hides the method a little more.
Right.
If you want, I could perform it and explain the subtleties I
Please
have
do.
found.
Please do. Yes.
And so, like, this is something I always have behind my phone case. And the presentation I usually go about this is that I have a bunch of old decks of playing cards that I don't really use anymore. So I've taken some cards from different decks. So I have 6 cards. So these can be mixed up however we want. I give them to you, and you could mix them up as well, because that doesn't really matter for the trick. And then I would also present to you an invisible dice that you can take. You can take it right here. There it is. It's on your table. I dropped it right there.
Oh man. Oh, let me
And you
pick.
can roll it a few
It's on the
times.
floor here.
You can roll it a
Uh,
few times, see that it doesn't roll the same thing every time.
and just to make sure it's not weighted or anything like that.
It's not a loaded die.
Okay.
It's an actual die.
One more time just to be sure.
Good.
Okay, we're good.
Good. And I also have this little secret laying around right here. The question mark on it. What's this? It's intriguing. I'd give that to you. This prediction isn't Danish, but I promise you that I'm gonna translate it correctly and not manipulate the information inside it.
I've got Google
So,
Translate.
right. So you are gonna read that or roll that die now, and what you roll is not gonna be completely irrelevant. Like you're gonna roll it, and it's gonna mean something, and we'll find out what it means. So try and roll your die.
uh, I see what we have. It looks like I've rolled a 2.
A two. Look, we got
Yes.
many different cards. Like we said, we got card number one here. I mean, I mixed them up so they're not in order, but card number one, number two, three, four, five, and six. So out of all these cards, you ended up with the only red card in this pack, which I find pretty fun. But even funnier is that this prediction, little secret, says du endte med det røde kort, which is Danish and means you ended with the red card. You ended up with the red card.
Nice. Now, I really like that presentation, bro. Also, the little subtlety of having the cards together in a pile and not spread out, I really like that. I see you still have it in the order necessary. Um, which when you
Yeah,
were mixing them up, looked so fair. It looked like they were really being mixed up genuinely. So that
I
was
mean,
that was great.
I only need the order of like 2 cards, actually, technically
Right,
3 cards.
right,
These two, as long as I have them next to each other and some other random card on top. I like
right.
this one simply because it looks pretty in my phone case. And this looks like a nice even distribution. So I mix everything up. And I don't even pay much attention to the fact that they're all different cards. It's just I took some cards out from different decks in case people are gonna think, oh, what this was the red card. But it's like, no, no. This is the only red card. These are just from different decks, so it doesn't matter if
Right.
people ask.
Now, the
So I don't
subtlety
bring
of
any
having the
attention to
backs
it.
mixed up like that, because all the backs are different colors, nobody's going to draw attention to that fact. And you don't show the
No,
faces ahead of time. So
nope.
that is a great idea. That is awesome.
Then I just go ahead and place the blue card on the bottom as I mix up, and then the red card, and then whatever card I want on top. I could, in theory, just go with whatever is on top because that's just a nice way to mix it around. Everything is getting mixed, and I just put one there, bring everything to the top, and
And the good part, it's
I'm
only
set.
6 cards, so you really don't have that much tracking to do. Um,
Nope, not at all.
Honestly, I like this version better than my version. I think this should be the definitive version of this trick. I think it's awesome.
Thanks.
Very
I
well
mean, when I
done.
saw your version of it, I was like, wow, that's genius. Because like I was like already thinking about all the different outs, all the different things and the possibilities for this. Um, do you want to see the different outs for the different subtleties?
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
So I have everything squared, not to display everything. So if they say one, I would say, look, we have card number three here. Wait, I turn them back face down. If they say one, I show, look, this card number one, two, or sorry, man, I keep messing this up. We have card number three, six, card number one, and four, five, and two. So this is card number one out of all your cards here. And it's the only red card. It may not seem like anything really cool, but read the prediction. And then you have
Nice.
that. Um, third way I thought about describing that is going like so all the cards have different numbers on them. But there are six cards, so six different numbers. We have three here, and I would just drop this five, two, four, one, right? And then you don't even show the face
That
of the six.
I like that presentation better. I think that's stronger. Because the last
It
card
is.
really doesn't need to be shown. Um, because you're showing everything else. As soon as you get to the answer you need, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's just like
At
I
least, at
got
least, at least,
a
to the spectator. Yeah,
like we had a number for every card. This is four, three, two, five, one, one, and then
yeah.
it's the red card.
This is a really strong presentation. I really like this.
Thank you.
Let's say
Then
what? Okay. Well, we've seen what happens when you get option two. What about
yeah,
option three?
option three, I would do this. Like, so we have card number one, number two, number three, four, five, and six. This is one, two, three. Option number three, and voila, that's how it will look like. It's the only red card. Another
Nice.
alternative thing is to be like count to your. No, that wouldn't work. Never mind. I just thought like they could count to the number three from their left because then
I
it doesn't
mean,
matter if it's your left or their left. But
really, it would work. You got to spread the cards out.
yeah, it would work
Yeah,
if they
once you spread it
say
out,
three or
right,
four. If they say three or four, they could count to that number from your
right.
right or from the right, and then they count, and you'd be like, "Oh, sorry, from my right." It's because we're sitting across. I was thinking this way, and then they count, and then they hit it. But that would only be a hit if they say four or three.
Me personally,
If
I
they
think if it's on their side, I would then have them go ahead and count the cards because naturally they're gonna read left to right and count left to right.
right,
Uh, so if it's on my side, I would then
you
just
spread it out
do
this way.
count it for them. One, two, three, four, and that's the fourth card. Or that way. I think that's a nice little subtlety that can be pushed into there. Um, Depending
That
on
is
whose
nice.
side
Like
it's on, you can
they're
go
gonna want to
exactly
count from their side.
right instantly.
Oh, how about this? You, hmm. If they say three or four, you could say we have uh three or four cards. You're gonna count them. Do you want to count from the left or the right, or from your left or your right? Let's say they want to count from your left. You deal them out like this. If they want to count from their right, you deal them on the opposite direction.
You can also right. That's a good point. You can also do a reverse spread.
Yeah,
So instead of spreading
like
the
do it
cards
that
one
way.
direction, you spread them in the other direction. That's another good point that you bring up there. Um, so let's say we have
That leaves a lot of free choice too. Like, do you want to count the
right,
cards from your right or your left? They say left. Okay, go
right.
ahead and count to that number, and they count one, two, three, four, end up on the
So
card.
it to me it'd be as simple as spreading the cards this way, or if they say the other way, you just spread the cards this way.
Yeah, and then they just go ahead and count.
There's actually a pretty smart trick like that. And I think I taught this. This is like the only trick I've taught on the short. But it has to do with the same type of idea, right? Where you're having someone choose a card, right? Let's say you choose a card, any card really doesn't matter what it is. Let's say in this particular case, you choose the what is that, seven of hearts,
Yeah,
right? Seven of hearts. You would then tell that person to return the card where they chose it from, uh, wherever that card might be that they chose their card from, and you put it right back into the deck, just like that. And then you go to spread out the cards, and their card be the only card sandwiched in between the two jacks. So
mm,
and all it is using a reverse spread. So uh, that just kind of reminded me of that. I figured I'd throw that in as a freebie, but all you need is either two jokers, two jacks, whatever you like, one on top, one on bottom, any card chosen, and wherever it's chosen from, all I'm doing here, if the card is chosen here, I'm just reverse spreading these cards. So then the
yeah.
top card becomes the middle card, and bottom card becomes the middle card. They return it exactly where they're from, and you can say something along the lines of, "I'm going to have my jacks locate your card," or whatever kind of presentation you'd like to use. Uh, but that's something cool you can do with reversing the spread of cards, which is something so subtle. I don't think anybody ever picks up on.
It's nice for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, I have one more like which hand thing that I'd love to tell you about.
bring it
I
up.
don't know if it because when I got this, it was free on App Store. If it's still, I don't know if it's still free because I had one friend I talked about it, and he was like, What is this? I thought you said it was free," and it wasn't free for him. But maybe it's got something to do with the region or when I got it. But it's a way to turn your AirPods into a which hand device,
Huh?
which
Interesting.
is like you just give them an AirPod. Like you don't have anything in your hands. You say put it behind your back, and you say, "Okay, um, go ahead and just bump my fist with either one of your hands, doesn't matter." And like that one, okay, it feels like it's a little heavy. It's got an AirPod in it. And then you're right. And they don't have to do that. They could bump their chest or they just have to do something with their hand. It could be they have their hands behind their back and you say, bring out one of your hands. They bring out a hand. And you can say the AirPod's not in that hand. And you can guess correct every time. But the cool thing is you can do it 3 times. And once you're done, you go ahead and say, actually, like I told you from the beginning, I had a prediction written down. And so you open your Notes app, and it really is your Notes app. It's not some other external app.
App or
And you
something,
open up
right?
that app, and it says, yeah, it's Apple Notes app. And it says first you pick your left hand, then you pick your right hand, and then you pick your right hand again at the end.
Nice.
Like
I,
that
I like
is
that because it's in their hands. It doesn't seem like something you'd be able to pick up on. A
no,
an earbud is fairly small. But I also
yeah.
figuring out the method behind it. That's actually very clever.
I mean the method is simple and it's foolproof.
Right. It's
I
very,
haven't
very
had it
clever.
fail.
Yeah. Huh. That is pretty
And
awesome.
and the nice thing at the end, you just pull out your phone and you open your Notes app and it just says exactly what happened. And it doesn't use like voice recognition or anything like that. It's also
Right.
surefire.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the
I,
app is
I would
called
I would assume
echolocation.
everything echolocation. Okay. And I would assume that everything with the Notes app, that's all just a regular app. That's just you jotting down what's actually happening, right? No,
Well, the
really.
app helps you, but you do input something. But it's very it's like you
Uh,
input it. Your phone is in your pocket, and you can input it with just your hands in your pocket or actually take out your phone because inputting it is like that. And you have
Interesting.
6 different possibilities, and you can input them extremely quick.
Huh. Okay.
And you're not like using on your phone. It would look like this if I had my phone in my pocket here. If this is my phone, this is what it will look like. I would say you picked left, left, right. It's funny because I have something written on my phone, and I unlock it. They can see that, and I open my notes app, and it
Oh,
says left,
okay.
left, right.
I actually I think I know because there's something similar to what you just did right there that kind of gave. I don't want to give anything away, so I'm just going to tell you it's in the motion of things. Let's put it like that.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
we're gonna have to talk about this one later then.
We will. I mean, you can always just go check the echolocation app because when I got it, it's free. But if it has become a marketed thing, I don't want to expose the method
Right.
just in case that it has become marketed. Because, like I said, the friend of mine, he had to pay for it for some reason. I didn't, and another friend of mine also didn't have to pay for it. So if it's free, then I mean, I'm sure I'd be able to talk freely about it. But the method is very nice, and the prediction itself can be used for multiple things. It doesn't have to be for which hand. That could be an invisible heads or tails. They do like, what
That's
do
what
they
I
want?
was thinking
Heads,
about
tails?
because there's a similar app to what you're mentioning for like playing cards. Uh, in terms of predicting playing cards, where you have a quick input of information before actually getting to the app that allows you to uh, input your prediction, basically. So I thought it was working similar to that, but it may be work. It may work a little bit different. But we'll have to talk about that later. I don't want to give anything away here.
Yeah. But
Now,
like it could also work with like red or black cards. You could have someone divine them like
right.
without knowing, and then people on your phone say, "Hey, look, it's exactly what you said. How odd."
Or you could have the red and black cards mixed up and see what order they're in, right?
Exactly.
For example, that'd be another way to use it. That'd be pretty cool.
It is. I don't know
Oh,
how many inputs you can add to it. Of course, like 3 inputs, it's quick
right.
because you only need left, left, right. If you're gonna do like red, black, red, black, red, black, I would just have my hand in my pocket while they just shuffle the cards and they spread them out, and then input accordingly. Because then I can take my hands out of my pocket and very cleanly just take out my phone without anything happening
All right.
because it's already
Uh,
been input.
Perhaps if you were to limit the amount of cards you have, like just 4 cards,
Yeah,
maybe
it'd
that
be
could
quick.
help.
It'd be very quick.
Right. Oh, interesting. So another thing that's been on my mind, tell us a little bit about your joining with Illusionist and what you guys got cooking up, or at least what you can tell us. I'm sure you can't, expose too much of what you guys got going on, but if there's anything at all, you can give us any information,
I mean, I can't really say anything,
anything at all. Okay.
anything at all. You don't know that I'm even working with them.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. I mean, there's a lot of people, that if you have any ideas, you can submit them to Illusionist.
Yeah,
So I can say, people have submitted things before, whether they get, approved or not. That's one thing. So I'm
yeah.
just going to take that as top secret, confidential.
Confidential.
Say no more.
Also, do you want to see something that I made?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know if this is original, but I haven't seen it before, so here goes. Maybe
All
you've
right.
seen it before, but for this is fun for a spectator, I think, because usually card tricks will go like this: you pick a card, I find it in whatever way I want to do. This is different. How about this time? I pick a card, and once I pick a card, you have to find it. So I think I'm gonna go with which card do I want to go with? I gotta choose carefully. This one, Queen of Diamonds. I want to go for that one, Queen of Diamonds. And you are gonna have to find it in whatever fashion that you feel like. So
Interesting.
as long as you don't know where it is, that's good. Because then I would put them here, and I would say, "Can you take your index finger?" Obviously, you can't because you'd have to physically be here and be like, "Put them next
Right.
to the cards and just like flick them up." I'm gonna do it because you're not here, and flick the cards, and hopefully, ah, it missed.
I I am familiar.
But like maybe we're going about it wrong. Can we see how many cards do we have here? 1, 2, 3,
Uh-oh.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There it is.
The matching. Okay. I like that subtlety at the end. I have not seen anybody do it like that. That's actually a really good touch.
Thanks.
I like that.
I feel like a crimp is such a nice way to force a number.
Yeah,
It,
for sure.
like if you want to have 15 cards, be like just because this is the easiest thing in the world to do, and it feels so free and
Now
so
there
impossible to not hit the crimp. So
now I
even
don't
when
know
I
how
try to not hit
comfortable
the crimp,
I don't know how comfortable you feel discussing methods for this.
I'm fine. Like
I, I know you
I
just
could discuss the
mentioned
method.
okay. Um, I know you just mentioned one of the methods. Now there are I can think of like five different methods off the top of the head for this. But one impromptu method, like two of them, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on two of them because I feel like they're not widely known enough. Uh, well, actually, the last one, the one I will tell, is probably the least known method, but is so smart and impromptu. Like, let's say if you're doing walk around, or if you're at dinner with someone, and let's say you can use it with somebody else's deck and not have to crimp them or do any of the other methods. All you have to do is have a little bit of table salt on the tip of your finger, and you have them pick any card they like. And as you point down right here, say put your card right back down here. They put their card on top. You could even give it a little overhand shuffle, kind of like avoiding that area. Do the same exact thing, and it works flawlessly,
It's nice.
flawlessly every single time. I actually use I've used that method plenty of times before, but I use a different method. But I know exactly what you're talking about there. And I dislike I sort of dislike using methods that uh, like you said, playing cards are expensive, so I try not to destroy the playing cards as much as possible. I know they're not like super expensive or nothing like that, but at least on my end here, they're not super expensive, right?
Yeah.
But there is another method that I very much like here. Let me get rid of all these. That way I don't mix anything up. Gaff cards, am I right?
Calf cards.
No, seriously. Let's say you were to uh, choose a card. Any card really doesn't matter. Let's say, where's my favorite card? Two of Hearts. Let's say you were to choose the Two of Hearts. And if I were to take that card, and I want to kind of shuffle these cards up so you can see I'm not doing any, what do you call it, mixing of the cards up too much. Or not mixing up the cards. I want you to see that everything's kind of fair here, if I can make it fair. All right. That'll work for me. All right. One more time. Okay. Mix the card. Put your Two of Heart back up in here. And I think that's pretty fair there. So I only get one shot at it because I think this method does not work as well as some of the other methods, but um, it can work like perfectly. It can work perfectly sometimes. Um, so let's see if I can cut them up, give them a shuffle. Let's see. Even with a shuffle, this may or may not work in the way that I want. But let's see. So I just shuffle the cards. I'm not going to flick them up like you just did right there. Boom, I got a miss. All right. But even if I get a miss, I can still cut the cards a couple of times and might hit. And this is still something that I've kind of been playing with a little bit. So I might get a couple of hits, I might get a couple misses. But let's see if I can get this fucker to work here. No, definitely not. Hold on. I got to try to redeem myself here because I feel like it's almost there, but not quite. Let's see if I can redeem it. No. All right. That card is lost, ladies and gentlemen. I
And
have
then it turns
lost
out
that
they're
card,
all the two of hearts.
right? Wouldn't that be
And then
crazy?
all the cards are the two of hearts all of a sudden. And you performed a
Yeah.
deck switch, and I didn't see it.
That can be done. But I was legitimately trying to cut to the exact card this time, but it's not happening.
Hmm.
Um, all right, well, that was a really bad demonstration of a principle that I was trying to show you here, but let's see
Where's the
here.
principle from? Is it from a book?
No, it's actually super old. Actually, I don't even know how that got flipped over. It's a super old principle. Uh, it's actually so old. In fact, I'm gonna try it one more time without doing all the extra shit because I feel like that's how I lost it. Um, Without doing all the extra shit. Um, let's see, right there, maybe. No, definitely not. All right, I don't know. I must be a little bit off today or something. Let's see if I can. Come on, baby. Come on, don't let me down. It is just not
Is there
having it today.
is there a way to cut to a specific card?
It is. It is a way to cut to it, which a lot of people that know this method know how to do it, and I feel like I may have gotten it just right there, maybe. And no, son of a bitch. All right. Well, I tried. Nope. I don't know what the hell's going on with this method, but it's not having it right now.
The
I don't know. It was
Sayed.
working for me yesterday perfectly, so I might need to swap things out, so to speak, if I'm giving any hints to what's going on here. But yeah, there's another method that I use that I'm more familiar with. I just wanted to kind of try this one out, and it is not working the best right now. So what are you gonna do? Perhaps
You want to see my favorite deck switch?
yes, actually. I've had someone commission me to come up with something in form of deck switch recently.
This is a deck switch from a book. I think it was called Blank Pages. But you can have someone casino wash all the cards. For example purposes, I'm showing you all black cards. But the idea is this.
Oh, nice. That was really clean.
It's such a nice deck switch. It's like it's so invisible too, and it works. Everything being swapped out to whatever it is that you want it to be swapped out for.
Now, oh, that's very clean.
It's so invisible.
Now, can this be done with a whole deck?
Yeah, it can be done with the whole deck. I just don't have like two decks. I have two decks, but like the switch would be a little obvious since these are like
Right.
the older marked bicycles,
I see. Yeah.
and these are red backs, so it would be quite an obvious switch.
Huh. Let's see. I don't want to give up, man. I don't want to give up on this. I want to see
Never
if I
give
can
up.
do it one more time. All right. I'm gonna try to. If I can't do it this time, it's over for me. All right. Put it in the mix. Shuffle it up. Uh, last shot. Last shot. Let's see if I can. Son of a
There it
bitch.
was. Wait, wasn't it that? Wasn't it the 3 of clubs?
No, no, it was the 2 of hearts. I,
2 of
uh,
heart. What? How do I remember
definitely
the 3 of
fumbled. I
clubs?
fumbled on that one once again, and yeah, that's crazy. All right. Well, I was so close too. I was actually like 1 card away. Look at this.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
Oh, it's right there.
right there, brother. What the fuck? So,
Well, hey,
yeah.
do you wanna hear my out for the trick with the spectator flicks the card? The
All
out
right.
of the case where they don't hit the crimp, where they do that and it's not on the crimp. This is still on the crimp, even though I try to miss it. But in some scenario where they don't hit the crimp, this is what I do. Let's say it flips there, boom, and say, "Wouldn't it be crazy if you found my card?" They turn that one over. Like, wait, that's not my card. Shit. I'll give you another shot. It's fair. You haven't performed magic before, so you'll just give it another shot and see if you can get it. And let's say they get it now, and I say turn it over. Still not it.
That is actually almost stronger, I would think.
Because then it's not it again. Like maybe we're going about it wrong. You can count the cards that you flicked off. Maybe that's what maybe it's a clue. And then it's 15 cards, and you count 15 cards down, and then the card is there.
All right. That's actually, I think, that's a little bit stronger, almost like a fail for a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice. And it's such a
Now,
nice way to force a number. We need a random number. You like flick the cards, like there
it'd
you
be
go,
crazy if I could
perfect.
do it. If I could do it without a crimp card. Let's see. Just because I like to try. Nope, definitely not. Oh my God, am I close, bro? 1 card away.
Uh,
Without a crimp, 1 card away. That's not too bad. I'll take it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It must be something that I'm messing up here. I'm like 1 card away from everything. Like I said, I might have to replace uh, either that or go back to my old method because my old method seemed to work a lot better. I like to switch it up to try new things.
yeah,
I haven't really played with this concept too much, but it's good for other things though. Like if I was to, uh, for example, like if I told you a classic David Blaine trick, where if I told you I'm going to show you the cards like this, right? And you're going to see 1 card. And you got one?
yeah,
Okay. Is it a red card?
it is.
Uh, red card. It's definitely not that one. Um, it's not the 2 of hearts, right?
Not the two of hearts.
Okay, not the 2 of hearts. So cancel that one out. Um, okay. I think I've got my idea of what the card is. Um, if I'm wrong, please tell me that I'm wrong. Okay.
Okay.
Was this your card?
No,
That wasn't your card? Son of a bitch. What was your card?
the 10 of hearts.
Fuck. All right. I can still do one thing to fix the mistake, and I just do like that. And 10 of hearts.
There it is. The 10 of hearts. That's really
So
nice
it's
too.
it's good. It's good for
Like
that.
you
So I need to use every method that's good for every method, and not try to intersplice them too much.
what was I about to mention? I was about to oh yeah, right. You talked about doing different things. I've been trying to get into cold readings.
Okay,
That's
that's a
good.
little hard. Yeah, it's a bit
It's
difficult.
difficult. Yeah, I got this book right here. Q and I, Sydney Freeman. Friedman.
Okay,
It's good so
what
far. I like it.
I think mentalism in itself is a very difficult performance art, like for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I really, really like mentalism. There's so many things about it that are just mind-boggling, or just
I
like
think
in
it's
effects
stronger
in
than
general
a
that
lot of
are.
forms of magic.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I post, especially like on TikTok or Facebook or whatever, it's really visual stuff that, like, a lot of the things are so angle sensitive that you couldn't really do it in real life. Some of them, sure, but a lot of them, they're just too angle sensitive to even be
Yeah,
performed. I wouldn't even be able to perform some of them here because they're almost like nailing trick shot videos.
yeah, yeah. I know
Where
what you mean.
mentalism is what I
I tend to steer clear or try to steer clear from actually performing any of those type of stuff. I like the more practical stuff. But with mentalism, the great thing about mentalism is, especially propless mentalism, it can be done anywhere, anytime. It's like the the holy grail of magic in a sense, because you don't need anything but your mind and the other person.
yeah, that
So
I really, really love propless mentalism. I made a PK touch routine that is completely impromptu, that has a real-time touch,
hmm,
and
interesting.
is completely impromptu. And I mean, I don't mind getting into the methodology because the whole setup is it requires a different PK touch routine from Morgan Strepler, which is just the perfect setup for this. But essentially, what you do is you have to like swap two touches over. I have two spectators, one facing, they're facing the same direction. They're standing like this,
Mhm.
and I would have to like the reasoning for why they need to get there. I still need to think about. I mean, if I was gonna ever do something with this, write it in a book or something, I would need a reasoning for why they have to stand like this. Whereas those previous PK touches brings them into this position perfectly with the best reason, but I can't use that reason because it's not mine.
All
But
right.
this is, oh man, I'm getting unsure if I should save this. I can tell you later, of course,
Yeah, I mean, if you're
because
unsure, I probably wouldn't say it. Um, Now I have one PK touch routine that I do, um, where both spectators can be facing each other. One's eyes closed and the other one's eyes are open,
yeah,
and kind of wave your hand like this uh, to them, and then you do touch them at one particular point. Sometimes I like to touch their nose like this, do it to the other spectator without touching them at all, and then ask the spectator that wasn't touched, "Did you feel something?" Yes. Where
yeah,
did you feel me touch you then? Yes. Where? And then they point to their nose and everybody, goes crazy. People love the PK touch routines.
yeah. Because the real time touch I have, they have to start here, and then I turn them around and I touch one person, and they say, I ask you, did you feel anything? Just yes or no. And they say, yeah, I did feel something. And then I say, you can keep your eyes closed, and I want you to say now when you feel a touch. And so they, they're silent. I touch the other person on the forehead. They're standing facing each other. Touch them on the forehead, and then they say now at the same time.
Now that I think is so much stronger. The fact that it's real time. It's not like a after the
If
fact type of thing.
the only problem with it is that you can't have any other spectators watching. There has to be just those two people. It works for only those two people. Everyone else would
Right.
see how it works.
Right.
But PK touches are really, really fun. So I don't
Yeah.
get the chance to do them that often. But they're strong.
They definitely are
So
for sure. What what would be some of your go-to magic, like in impromptu type if you're just hanging out with some friends, they're like, "Hey, show us something." What would be like one of the first things, assuming that they have never seen any of your magic before? What would be something like the first go-to type of effect that you would uh, go for?
man, I made a whole list on my phone of things to do on the fly. Uh
But
because
you're
like
on your
this is
phone.
assuming that I Yeah, on my
All
phone.
right. I get
This
it.
is assuming that I don't have my cards, I don't have any coins or whatnot. It's just me as I am. And someone's like, "Oh, you're a magician. Oh, can you do some tricks?" I'm like, "Ah, yeah, sure, go ahead."
Yeah.
And then I would perform some tricks. And for the opener, I would take my AirPod out and do the which hand with the AirPod, show the prediction. And I have a lot of stuff with my phone that I made that I wanted to show, but I can't because I'm using my phone. I thought I could use my computer.
Right.
But once I'm done with that routine, the AirPods would be left on the table, and then I would go into like some stuff with sound and say, look, Spotify, they got a new feature. I don't know if you know this, but you open up your Spotify, you can have them find a song they like. So I found out you can skip the song. Let's just say that this is my phone and this face is the screen. I said, did you know that you can skip the songs here? And I do that, and it skips the song. Like, and you're doing it on the bottom of your phone. It's like, what?
Huh.
No, I didn't know that. Oh, it's like there's a microphone down there. It listens for the scuffle if you turn it on and turn it back, and then goes back. It's like, well, I don't have to touch the phone. I'll leave it on the table, take some steps away, and I do this, and the song pauses, and I do it again, and it starts.
That
And I was
is
like, well,
cool.
this is where it gets really funky. Well, I don't know how this exactly works. I pick up my phone, I turn up the volume. I say, listen, are you ready? I take the sound and I put it on my AirPods, and then it plays from my AirPods.
That's
And it's
crazy.
like, what? And then take it again, put it back on the phone, and I can give it to them because it doesn't require any apps. There's nothing else open but Spotify. The cool thing is, it doesn't have to be your AirPods. You can do it to someone's computer. Take the sound, toss it on their computer. If there's a speaker playing music in the room, you could take it, toss it to that speaker over there, toss it to another speaker, and back to your phone.
That is a great idea. That is awesome. Uh, I've seen something similar to that, especially with aspects of like touching the phone, swiping the phone without actually touching it.
Eh,
But what you're describing is a really cool trick.
It's funny to do. It's
Yeah.
so fun to do because like the AirPods, they play a sound so faintly. Because like I do that or I take the phone, you hear the sound, right? And I snatch it. And like might be able to hear something faintly, and I have like, can you pick up one too. Hold them up to your ears. You can hear the sound, right? And then you have two people standing there, and it's so fun. It feels like real magic doing it. Like you hear the sound, ready, watch, and you just snatch the sound, and they hear it stops, and you put it back on your phone. Meanwhile, you
I
you don't
mean,
have to touch your phone. It could be laying on the table, and you go snatch and put it over.
the interesting thing about it is like the aspects of how does the phone work? How does the internet work? How does Wi-Fi work? How does Bluetooth work? Most people don't know those things, so it seems kind of magical in itself. And then you being able to manipulate that is great.
Yeah,
I love that. That is
it's
awesome.
funny.
Now, is that a paid
And
effect that people can find, or
oh, that's my own effect.
is it?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, bro. That is something that I think you should bring to market. I personally think I think that would be really awesome.
Yeah, if I could, I suppose I could, but I don't know if it would be too closely related to Total Control by
Right,
Hiroshi Magic, because it's uses the same. It doesn't use the same things. It's a whole different idea. It does very
right,
different things. But if you buy Total Control, you'll know how this works.
right. I think that's what I was referencing before, in terms of touching the screen and stuff like that. That's from Total Control,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Do
I
they
don't have
also?
total control, but I know exactly how a lot of the things work because I really set
Right,
myself into shortcuts on the phone because it's a shortcut and they can run in the background. I just have
right.
my own methods of hiding a shortcut. So you don't actually have to open the shortcut app and people can look around your phone. They're not going to find anything.
Now, Total Control, are they with Total Control, they're able to do it on other people's phones as well?
Well, I'm not sure. I've seen the trailer and from what it looks like
Right.
there, you use their phone, but you're not doing any magic on their phone. Like you would put
Okay.
their phone down next to yours and see if we turn the volume down on your phone, look what happens on my phone, and it does the same. So your
Ah,
phone does the
interesting.
magic, but you're using their phone. See, you may think it's
Right,
Bluetooth. I'll turn off the Bluetooth on your phone. Look what happens on my phone,
right. So it's
and
similar
then everything
concepts
works.
there. Interesting. Um, Another option would be maybe to reach out to that creator and see if they, uh, see if they would be interested in doing a collaboration, a part two to that
Yeah,
trick. And that's another thing you can think about. Or if it's different enough, and it may not be different enough, you could release it as your own effect. But those things you got to weigh out. But definitely sounds like a great effect. I mean, I'd love to learn that. So
I can send it to you later if you like.
awesome. That sounds cool, bro. I definitely would have plenty of fun playing around with that idea and that concept.
I mean, there's so
Um,
many things you can do with shortcuts. Like, because I would go into other effects with my phone where, like, my phone will end up actually glitching. The screen is glitching like crazy, and I give it to the spectator, and it's a mess to look at. You wouldn't want to have a epilepsy looking at that. And then, like, it's laying on the table, and you just put your hand over it, and it turns back to normal, and like, there's no apps open. It's just completely glitched out,
Now, what
and
are
it's
some of
not
the
a video.
drawbacks to this effect? Is it only iPhone compatible? Would that be a drawback?
I suppose there are ways to make similar things for Android, but yes, it is just iOS compatible, the thing I
I
made.
thought so. Okay.
And there's another drawback is you have to use your phone, but I have heard of other magicians using NFC tags to transfer shortcuts. I have not yet been able to do it myself or find NFC tags beefy enough, let alone found a way to load shortcuts on people's phones. But
That
I have heard of
is
people doing it because
interesting.
then you can have palmed an NFC tag, borrow their phone. It will scan, and in a brief moment, you can install the shortcut on their phone. Obviously, there's some ethical stuff with what can you do, what can you not do with people's phones, but I've
Right.
also found out you can have a shortcut delete itself
After a certain amount of time.
after a certain amount of time. So you could perform the
That
effect, wait five
is
seconds,
crazy.
delete itself.
Now, the possibilities behind that, if this could be developed further, the possibilities of that kind of seem endless. I mean, the sky's the limit there.
Yeah.
In terms of phone magic, that would be a game changer for sure.
It is, and like I love the fact that it can delete itself. Another way to do it is to just airdrop it to them. So you don't need an NFC
Right.
tag. You bring out your phone, their phone, airdrop the shortcut that will delete itself. You can place their phones down, do the thing where, if this happens on your phone, or if I do this on my phone, it'll happen on your phone. And by the end of the trick, the shortcut will delete itself and their phone will be just as it was before.
No different.
No
Exactly.
different,
That
which
is a
is
great concept.
powerful.
Let's see. I want to read the comments here for a second. I like playing with the classic Svengali deck. Always fun. Yes, Svengali deck is so underrated. Would you agree?
I would say so, yeah.
I think a
A
lot of
lot of
people
times it
consider it as a
fools
beginner magic
magicians.
trick. Right, right. A lot of people think it's a beginner magic trick, but there's levels to that shit, bro, for sure. Definitely
Like the
levels to it.
The best way to fool a magician is luck or a one-way force deck.
Yeah. One way force deck definitely does it. It's so on the nose that I feel bad about doing it, because it's like, oh, that's what you're doing. But at the same time, if you really want to fool somebody, it works.
I hate finding out a method is one-way force deck. Like if I see
Right.
something and I have
Exactly.
like I'm speculating, could this be a one-way force deck? And I'm like, I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. For example, reading in a book, like there's this amazing effect. It's described like a mind-blowing effect, and then you realize like it's a one-way force deck.
Of course. But if there was a way, like a convincer, for example, if there was a convincer that it wasn't a one-way force deck and then it turns out to be at the end, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That might be
I mean,
something
you
that
could
I might need to look into.
You can always just do a deck switch.
That is true.
Just have a one-way force deck ready. Show a random deck. Have them like swoosh around the table. You take them, square them up, and say, "Look, pick out any card you'd like, any card, really. There you go." And you have a force, and you square everything up again, and you're back to your normal deck.
Now that deck switch that you showed me earlier, it was very fast, and I really liked it. Now, how practical is that for non-tabled work, like for walk around? Because that's the question I got when I was commissioned to kind of come up with or find the best method for a deck switch for someone doing walk around or a parlor, for example.
I mean, you'd need to sit down for a table.
Okay. All
You
right.
need to be able to lap some cards. But if you want a good deck switch, just leave your card box on the table, put away your cards. Well, oh shit, I need to put them in the box.
Right.
Actually, let me do one more thing.
All right. That's I know that method. There's a couple other methods. She sells at the seashore type of thing, but that was a hint
Yeah,
if
or
anybody,
like
yeah.
leaving
Oh,
the
that wasn't
jokers
random.
behind your shell or whatever.
Right, right. So there's a lot of methods like that. But I was just there's something I was looking up for a friend of mine that performs locally around here. Um, so I gave him a couple different options in terms of a deck switch, but visually, that deck switch you showed me was so pretty visually. It looks so good, man. It really does.
Is by far the most invisible deck switch I know.
Yeah.
It's like I have a post on it on Instagram where I use it, where it's fun. It was fun to perform. Like I showed some cards. I mean, I can't do it here because I need more cards, but I chose some cards to say we select a playing card, and we're gonna try to find it in a cool way. We put in the deck, snap our fingers, and one card will turn. Uh, what is this? Gold, and it's of course the right card out of all these cards. And then I put it on top, square everything up, and I say, but I get the question: Is it possible to do this trick? Or it's like this: Is it possible to do this trick again? And I say, absolutely. I cut the cards and say we find the four there, and it is back to a red card, but then it would, of course, be this colored card.
Right.
And then I say, unfortunately, all the other cards have turned to this color. So like it turns back, but the whole deck is now a different color.
That'd be really clean. I mean, yeah, deck
It,
switches, that's another thing where the possibilities are limitless. If you have a good deck switch, I mean,
or just an
even
index.
just right. Yeah, yeah, that's true too.
I
I
love
always use a good index.
having an index.
What is your favorite index that's out there? Because there's a lot of different options.
My favorite index is by far Dex
Dex,
from Javier from Mayor and Lloyd Barnes.
right.
I mean,
I am
Javier is a friend of mine, and I'm
yeah,
not being biased and praising it because it's one of my friends who made it, but I genuinely really, really like that index. It's so
he,
fast and it's so easy to use and
he's a
doesn't
great
take up a
magician,
lot
great
of time. Yeah.
creator. Yeah, he's great
Yes.
all the way around. Yeah.
He showed me some of the first prototypes for it on FaceTime, and like it was amazing. And recently I showed him a trick that like we talked about if we should include it in the instructions for decks. Because like it would be cool as a standalone effect, but it kind of needs you to already have a index. And so like for that trick, you'd have to go ahead and make a brand new index. And like why make a brand new index when you already have something like Dex that's so phenomenal? So we thought about just including it in the instructional videos.
Right.
That's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to it and
Yeah,
see what you
I do
see what you
too.
guys come
I
up
do
with.
too.
Yeah,
But I really,
there's a
really like
lot of
Dex.
things you can do with a deck switch. A lot of things you can do with an index. Um, Possibilities are limitless. I mean, especially with the index, there's so many tricks that have all these different methods that just kind of get eliminated when you have an index. Just makes things a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, it does. Like especially like any card at any number type things. Like
Right.
a freely actually freely named card. If you're gonna use a normal deck that they shuffled, they
Yeah.
could name any card and any number if you're doing it good.
Any card at any number is something that I love and holds near and dear to me. There's
I
so many
love it too.
versions out there.
I
It
made
it
a
is
version and I posted a tutorial of it, and then I got contacted by Yannick, and he was like, you know that method, it's been done before." In case I know you said you wanted to post original stuff, and I thought it was original, so I
right.
took it down. And he was the one who introduced me to the Conjuring list.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many methods out there. It's pretty insane. I think that might be one of the largest tricks that has like so it has the most methods, honestly, because it seems like an ocean with limitless, limitless resources.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
so it's kind of hard to come up with something that nobody else has come up with before.
it's very difficult.
Classic.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd never thought about doing that. Another magician showed it to me. It's nice because it's gimmickless.
Yeah.
Got over here. Does this work? Can I do this?
Hey, looks pretty damn good.
Thanks. That was the trick I made some years ago. Javier has this on his channel as a tutorial because I contacted him and told him that if he wanted to, he could post a video with this. And for everyone watching that wants to know this, I just have my finger under the cellophane.
That is cool. It's funny because uh, there's a lot of different methods for those types of tricks, but that looks so good and it's so simple. It's very
Mhm.
impromptu and it just looks so good, man. It looks really, really good.
And it's so practical. I do it all the time,
Yes.
which is probably the reason why I use it so much because of how practical it actually is.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up doing that at some point eventually. I definitely keep my cellophane on always. So
Dude, my angles are not with me on this. No. I
it
posted
happens.
this too. Posted this too on Instagram. It's a nice way to like have like an impossible balanced deck. And you just want to take off a small chunk of cards, take off an even smaller chunk of cards, like 5 or 6 cards. You spread these out slightly, get a break here, and like thread them under a few cards, which means that this can balance out here on its own. It really doesn't look very good from this angle. Above, it looks very cool. And you grab everything you got, get another break, and do this same thing with this pile. And thus, you pinch the deck a little bit here, and this looks phenomenal from above.
It actually does. I can see it, the shadow itself. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And it's just being held by the weight and the tension of the other cards. Is that right?
Exactly. Then you
Yeah,
just drop everything together, and it's clean and it's impromptu.
that's pretty cool. There are so
There's
many
also
good balance effects out there.
there's a way I made both of these, and I had a way I can't do it with these because I haven't had it set up, but also like sort of impromptu where you take some cards and you place them here and they balance on the edge, and you can take the cards off the bottom of the pile and they continue to balance like out on the corner.
Ah, okay.
And then at the end of that, you let go with your thumb and everything is like suspended in this weird position.
Huh. Interesting.
And that's something that like I said before, is a little routine that I put together that Javier also posted because I told him he could go ahead and do that. And the way that works is the cellophane, has
Yeah.
glue. It's glued together. I should probably mirror this cellophane if I want to do it properly for the demonstration. Man, I'm not reversing it. There you go. I think. Yeah. No. Well, whatever. And it's glued together, and you can, with a playing card, sort of pry open that glue. It's difficult, but it is possible. I like the best thing to do is to just use a knife or grab a small thread and glue it from one side to the other. That's just not impromptu. This is impromptu and just uses the cellophane, but doing it this way takes a little bit more prep. But in theory, you just want there to be like a little slit you can slide the cards into. And so you take
Yeah,
like
you can
five,
also
six
use an
cards.
X-Acto knife ahead of
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. To just make a
I
little slit and hole.
I've got a
And so you
couple of
display the
things and
cards.
routines and stuff I do with cellophane, but I'm gonna keep those under wraps because um, yeah, I just want to I just want to keep those under wraps because they're pretty good effect. It has to do with brand new decks of cards unopened. Um,
Ah,
so those are always fun because nobody's going to be expecting anything to be amiss with that. I've even gone as far as going to the store, buying the deck, and or having someone buy the deck of cards from the store, do the trick, the same deck that they had bought from the store. They open it up, and miracle inside.
that sounds like a really fun idea. That's almost like an impossible bottle type thing.
Yeah, it is basically. Speaking of impossible bottle,
I got it here.
I made this one.
Oh, I have a few that I made as well. I should
Yeah,
go get them and show you.
hell yeah,
It looks really does it have the cellophane on?
it sure does, buddy. That's the cool part. See.
Oh, that's the nice part.
Yeah.
That's the
It's like
best
you
part
got
about them.
you got to have the cellophane because without the cellophane, it just doesn't look as good. It just doesn't look right.
Nope.
I got this one here from Alex Pandrea, Fort Knox, when he
Ooh.
released those. Um, man, I wish that's somebody who I learned a lot from. That I wish was still, in the industry. Alex, we're sorry to see him go. I got to give him a shout out because I love his knock pros playing cards. Absolutely love them.
Like, I got a knock card right here.
Love the fucking knocks, bro. They're awesome. I see how quick I can pull one out. Boom, knock pros.
Boom, knocks.
Yeah, I love them. They're awesome.
But I
Definitely
got it set
awesome.
up here. So you see
Oh
how
shit, I
it's
didn't see that. Oh,
balancing in
okay.
this weird way. You can take out the cards from underneath this, put them back on top. So now, like, I
Let
just have a few
me.
cards under the cellophane, and how it's balancing here, so I'm just snipping like the flap.
Ah, bro. All right. So, because hey, the funny part is, I'm like, how the fuck does he got his finger under the cellophane there? Yeah, that that is good. That is good. You caught me off guard with that. That's hilarious. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. No, the
How's the
tab,
finger
bro.
under
The
the
tab.
cellophane?
Wow, that is good.
Oh yeah, but like
Nice.
I completely forgot about mentioning all the other things you asked for. Like, what's my go-to
Boy,
stuff
I'm
when
gonna
I
have
don't
to
have
name
anything
this
running?
thing "Diamond in the Rough" because there's a lot of gems in this one. Anybody watching is gonna be like, "What is that? Let me look that up." What I mean, it's great. Oh, what?
That
Bro,
that's
that's sick.
something I do. I just do a lot of ring magic in general.
Mhm.
I mean, the angles
So
aren't with
I'm
me
I'm
for doing.
familiar with the last two, but that one, that first one you did, caught me off guard,
This?
like really badly. Yeah. Oh, fuck. No way, bro. It's the wow, that's funny, bro. I just now caught it. It's but the way you do it is so slick and so smooth that it fucking got me. It got me so good. Yo, that was nice, bro. I like that. Like, cause
It's nice.
I've seen it done. When you see it done poorly, it's completely different. You're like, oh, that doesn't look good at all. But then when you see it done so well, it's very fooling. That is awesome.
'Cause, like, I
Wow.
learned this one, that I saw people do when I was a kid,
Uh,
where it, like, jumps from one finger to the other, and I was
okay.
like, but you can clearly see the index finger there, or, like, when I see people do this,
Right.
like, it feels very obvious. So just like, let's just cover it, right? No, you can't see it.
And
And
there's
the cover is
also
just like
I don't
the
know, was it a
sugar.
subtlety? Because I don't want to talk about the method, but is it a subtlety the way you're moving the hand down like this? Because I feel when the way you're moving that hand down like this, it covers it. It's like the small motion covers or large motion covers that small motion.
Yeah, I can't
That
switch it fast enough if I don't have that jerk to it.
well, it to me, it's that which is fooling it because it makes it look like it's jumping down, like like if you're tossing something down. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, like
literally,
you
if
just
I'm
like
just
flick it
it's
forward.
that small motion. If I'm tossing something, that makes it look so realistic.
It's hella fun to do.
It looks
And
so
it
good
gets
too.
people. It gets
Yeah,
people.
it really looks great. Oh man, I'm gonna have to play around with that. There's certain things that I've learned, but I just haven't really gotten around to playing around with it because I'll start getting obsessed with some card stuff.
You
You
seen
know how
this?
that can be. Yes, yes. I've seen that done with not with the hand, but with something else. What was it?
I can do it with my shirt, like finger straight
Yeah,
ugh, through the shirt.
that looks good. That actually looked pretty fucking good. That is a nice one. I was like, what's the effect where they uh they burn a piece of shirt, like they burn a hole in the shirt,
Oh yeah.
right? And I know I don't want to give anything away on that one because I feel like a lot of professional magicians do perform that. Where they burn the little hole in the shirt, they've got it all crunched up here, and then next thing you know, they take everything away and everything's completely normal, very
Yeah.
clean. Uh, that's one of those things that I think if you're doing a walk around and stuff like that, it's very fooling. Of course, not many people are going to let you light their shirt on fire, but or
Something
seemingly
about that.
pretty sure.
You got a point there. Like ring stuff is fun. Ring stuff is very, very fun.
Yeah.
And also, just like I highly recommend Sonore because that's like one of those things I do also like on the fly. Of course, if I'm in a super loud environment, you can't hear much and I would need the actual thing. But if I'm just by myself, or not by myself, if I have a small group of people and I do like invisible witch hand routine, I would also just go into the glass pink or whatever. So like, having sound is also a great convincer. I made one particular sound where I would have a coin, I'll put it here, and I'll get another coin, and you could hear them like clinking around in here, like clink, clink, and then
Right.
they would be gone.
Now there's a you make a great point. There's a great effect that came out recently with dice that has a similar concept. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I don't think so.
It has a similar concept and seeing how much you like that sound aspect, you might be interested. Another classic right there, my man.
Oh, I have a coin vanish posted, and it was something that was gonna release, But then Shin Lim posted something that, or not posted, he made something, released something that was too similar, so I ended up not being able to do it. But it was inspired by Ava Yap's Vanish, where you and then the like that thing, and then the coin's gone.
Right.
Show both sides of your hands. I have it posted like in 3 different videos. One where I just like wave my hand over it, and then it's gone. I show my hands empty, and then I just do this, and it appears.
Huh. I got to see that. Send me that when you get a chance because I really like stuff like that.
Will do.
All right. All right.
Oh, do
One
you
thing I
do you
wanted to
know
ask
the?
you. One thing I
Oh, you
wanted
can
to
ask
ask
first.
you. Uh, like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to do that marked deck sort of like video encompassing everything about marked decks. And I know you don't use marked decks that often, but I want to see if you can come up with a little something that I can add to that. Um, I'm asking a couple other magicians too to see who wants to, add their 2 cents and add a good trick that I can add to that because I want it to be informational and also just give a couple different tutorials ideas that you can do. Uh, that's kind of thinking outside of the box, not necessary. It doesn't have to be a mark deck trick, but a trick that benefits from using a mark deck.
I think I got something that I thought about it yesterday, but it just hit me with like stuff we've talked about previously that this could work very well. It could work with numerous different things. Let's say this, like you bring out a deck of cards, um, you shuffle them, and you say you're gonna find my card, so I'm gonna select a card, this one. I'm just so you think that I'm not gonna lie. I'll put it back in the deck, and I will just write down what card I picked on this card, and leave it be. And so you spread out the cards on the table. You have them like roll a coin or something over. It lands on a card, and you say, "My card was the 7 of hearts." So turn it over, and it's the 7 of hearts. And then you show that you also wrote down 7 of hearts to confirm that it was indeed
Ah,
the card that you wrote. So you're not just lying.
right.
And the reason why I thought of it is because we have just talked about using indexes. Because using a marked deck and they pick out a card, you can see, like, I see that this is the ace of spades. So you will just lie and say, my card was the ace of spades. And if you have an index with your handwriting saying ace of spades for every card, like you
I
just
see.
gotta whip that out of the index and switch it for your normal prediction. And then you have like pretty great. It's not a force, but it kind of feels like a force because like they could have picked any other card and you wrote it down from the beginning to an open prediction.
I see. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I like that. I got to develop that a little bit further and maybe make a little tutorial. That
You
sounds like
could
a good
also
one.
just lie and say my card was this, turn it over, and then they turn it over and see. That
Yeah.
would also be
Yeah.
powerful, but if people are familiar with marked decks, which most aren't, unless they're magicians, but laymen wouldn't know, then it would work fine without the prediction. But if you're performing for someone that has a little bit more knowledge, I think adding the I'm gonna write it down first would be great. Or perhaps even take a picture of it if you
Right.
have. Oh, that would be fun. Imagine having like a card or pictures of every 52 cards, but like as an index, so you can whip up that photo and you have a photo of every card,
Yeah.
but
I've,
in
I've
a
done
systematic way.
something like that, a little bit more broken down, not all 52, just kind of like a multiple outs thing.
It would be nice to have.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. So I do got to get going here. We've been on here for a little bit, but
Oh yeah.
I wanted to say that this was a great one, and we definitely got to do a couple more of these in the future. I'm going to try to have everybody. I'm going to let everybody know about your channels who go ahead and subscribe to you because you're a great magician. You've got great information. I'm sure all the tutorials that they let you post will be good ones. And anybody watching this video is going to get a lot of diamonds in the rough, good gems in here, good key pieces of information. Um, and your final thoughts?
I mean, I'm just excited to be on a live stream because I've never really been done that before.
Well, we got to
So
do this
it's
again,
weird to see like a section with people writing something.
right?
Great show, blast. Thank you very much, Jackie. And
Definitely, definitely.
well, yeah, we should do more of them.
Yeah, definitely we need to do another one here pretty soon. I actually have some time off of work this week. So maybe we'll be able to set up another one if you have an availability. But we'll see what we can do.
Could be.
All right.
I mean,
I might
there's only 2 days left, but it's a possibility.
okay. Oh yeah, actually Monday might be a shot for me. If you're able to work that out. If not, we can do it another time though.
I think so. I think Monday could
Okay.
work.
Well, yeah, keep in touch with me and definitely send me, some of those things that we were talking about because I want them out for sure. Um,
And then we should try to
but
do it on Facebook because then I can actually show some of the stuff that I do with my phone. Because then we can do it on the
yeah,
computer.
that's interesting. I got to figure out how to record from there. So that's something else we can think about.
Right.
But we'll figure it whether it's that or we can do what's the other app for that? When I don't know when there's plenty of options out there, we can figure something out.
Yeah.
just just fucking got me with that shit so good that first time. I was just like, what the fuck?
Also, like it's very straight on. Like it's not like that. Like
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, brother, we're gonna wrap this one up, and I will get back with you. And we got to do another show, man. We got to do another one because there
we'll
was
do.
just conversation was great, and we had a lot of good information up in here for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, brother, stay in contact with me, and thanks for joining me.
Well, thanks for letting me on.
All right, brother, have a good one.
You too.